Well, a very good evening to you. Many thanks for making time to be with us. This is the trending news on this 15th day of May 2024. Remember, you can watch this bulletin live on our Facebook and YouTube pages at Lookuptv. We kickstart our bulletin now, and several people are feared dead following a tragic landslide in Kimende, Kiambu County yesterday night. Now, according to the Red Cross, an unknown number of people are trapped within the landslides, with their health status remaining unknown. The organization has further issued a warning for residents to steer clear of the area, citing significant safety risk.
Happened jana usiku masaa ya saa 2 watu wakienda nyumbani. Kuna my nephew alikuwa anapitia hapa. Na ni mmoja wa hao watatu ama waine tuna expect wamelaliwa hapa na mchanga, so ndio tumekuja kutoka asubuhi from 6 tumekuwa hapa, tumekuja kuangalia ni aje, lakini serikali saa ingia, tumeona matinga isaa ingia, sasa tuangalie ni aje kama tunaweza waokoa.
Kufikia hivi sasa watu watatu ndio hawakufika nyumbani, wakitafutwa kwa simu pia hawapatikani. Kwa hivyo kuna hofu kwamba hawa watu wamezikwa katika hayo maporomoko, na vile tumefika hivi asubuhi ni coordination sasa ya serikali ya disaster management ndio wakuje tuweze kutoa maporomoko hayo, na tuone kama tunaweza kupata miili ya watu ambao hawakuweza kufika nyumbani. Kwamba tuna contractor ambaye alikuwa anajenga barabara hii na excavators na lori zake ndio zinafika kwa sasa. Pia tuko na serikali ya county pia wanaleta excavators pia na malori yao, ndio wakati tunatoa huo mchanga uweze kuondolewa na kuanza kupelekwa mahali pengine. Utaratibu ulioko ni kwamba kwa sababu maporomoko yalikuwa yameendelea kutoka karibu wiki mzima, kuna mahali watu walikuwa wanapita na njia ilikuwa ni kidogo. Kwa hivyo kuna mahali tunaweza kusema hapa ndio watu walikuwa wanapita kama kuna watu ambao wamekufa wako katika area hiyo. Kuna mpango imefanywa tayari na county commander wa polisi wakuja na sniper dogs ndio ziweze kutusaidia kuweza kujua kabisa ni wapi ambapo kunaweza kuwa kuna watu ambao wamezikwa pale.
Sasa tumetuma mashini hapa nyingi, tuko na excavator, tuko na malori, tuko na zingine tunaongeza, ndio tunaanza. Vile nimesema hapa ile mchanga imeteremka na kulalia barabara ni karibu eka 2. Kwa hivyo ni kazi mingi.
Now, President William RUTO has said that he plans to gradually increase Kenya's general tax rate to 22% in his tenure. Speaking during a meeting with Harvard University students at State House, Nairobi, the head of state outlined his vision to raise the country's current tax rate from 16% by the conclusion of his term. RUTO emphasized the importance of enhancing revenue generation to fund critical government initiatives and reduce the burden of foreign borrowing. Now, the trial against 2 Italian nationals charged with obtaining over 32 million shillings by false pretense from an Italian tourist in Watamu, Kilifi County is set to begin on the 22nd of May this year. The prosecution said they have lined up 4 witnesses, including the 2 Italian complainants that are complainants with investigating officer and the complainants lawyer Ndego Njiru.
No problem with this court handling this file, noting that the matter is quite fresh. Number 2, Your Honor, a pre-trial is or signifies a commence of the proceedings. And we have serious issues with my learned senior, Mr. Olekina, representing the accused persons in this matter. You know, I may be wrong, but my view is that we ought to get directions on our application first, because it's an application for recusal, which is akin to a challenge that has been posed to a judicial officer, so that then we are able to understand whether my learned senior, Mr. Olekina, is capable of receiving the document that is now seeking, or the documents might be landing on the wrong hands. As we await the 10 minutes break sought by the prosecution, we'll seek directions on our application. What goes first, our application or the trial? I am most humble. One of my senior line friend that he filed 3 days as a says, we wish to have some corresponding leave to put in a supplementary affidavit to the replying affidavit.
Now, the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, in partnership with the European Union, have launched a project that aims to enhance production of catfish and tilapia in Siaya County. According to KMFRIS researchers, the 3-year project, which is funded by the European Union to a tune of 85 million shillings, is set to establish aquaculture farms and also seek to support livelihoods and boost nutrition of the local communities through promotion of 3 value chains.
My name is Dr. Peter Michael Odworo-Dote. I work for the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute in Mombasa. The Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, abbreviated KEMFRI, is a national research organization, and one of the areas we cover is community projects as much as possible, so that our research is not lofty but serves the people on the ground. Right now we have a project under the acronym is called Ecofood. It is a project sponsored by the European Union to look at 3 value chains which can end up supporting livelihoods of local communities. The first value chain is the fish, where we are intending to produce catfish and tilapia, not in the traditional open pond system which has always been used, but in a system which is called a recirculation aquaculture system, where we tend to use less water and circulate that water and filter it and just replace a bit of it and keep growing the fish. Such a system, of course, requires a bit of intensive oxygen presence and so on, which will help the condition factor of the fish.
My name is Kababu Margaret. I work with ISIPE. ISIPE is the International Center for Insect Physiology and Ecology. We are a center of excellence in insect science, basically involved in doing research in insects. One of the things that we do, we have been involved in working with insects that can be used for food and feed. So there are different categories of insects that can be used for that purpose. And we've trained various farmers and we've trained various partners to produce these insects, and they're using it as a source of livelihood and also in businesses.
Now, a section of trained counsellors in Embu County have raised a red flag on counselling services offered by various groups, including churches, especially during the current flooding across the country, where many Kenyans have been left grieving. Now, speaking after an engagement with the Embu journalist, Professor Wanjiru Mugai observed that there are several gaps where motivational speakers, mentors and coaches have randomly engaged in counselling services without following the due process.
We have been moving to and fro, round circles, and we really don't understand where we shall stand, because for quite a time the counsellors have been trained in different areas. The counsellors themselves know their areas of specializations, but when maybe a church, and they say they have their own counsellors, they don't tell you which counsellors, where they got them from. But we have bodies, organizing bodies, which if a church wanted counsellors, they can tell you, in Embu we have the following, in this county we have the following. So it is like individualism based, where not everybody is literalized in the right way. So I would request the church, the government, and we counsellors also, and the organizing body or the bodies of counseling bodies and the board, to come together and we align how do we do the job, because counseling is not talking to people in public. It is an individual based with your own personal problem and how you deal with that problem. It's between you and the counselor, how you run it, but not public issues. So we've not come together yet. We have many public speakers. And public speakers are really good because sometimes you can pick something from them. I'm not doubting them, but they are not counseling. Let's differentiate. There is also another team, coaches. You can be a coach and a counselor, yes, but it's not always that a coach is a counselor.
Now back to a story that we had for you before is that President William Ruto has said that he plans to gradually increase the Kenya's general tax rate to 22% in his tenure. Now speaking during a meeting with Harvard University students at State House in Nairobi, the head of state outlined his vision to raise the country's current tax rate from the prevailing 16% to 22% by the conclusion of his tenure. Ruto emphasized the importance of enhancing revenue generation to fund critical government initiatives and reduce the burden of foreign borrowing.
The whole principle is that you must live within your means. This has been my message to the people of Kenya. For maybe 12 years, we've been running 8-9% fiscal deficit, you know? Which means you're spending money that you're not collecting. And you keep, you know, digging a bigger hole to fill the other one all the time, and now we have a debt that is heading towards unsustainable. Our taxes are way below those of our peers, you know, and I'm not comparing ourselves with OECD countries. You know, countries like France are at 45%, you know, others are higher. So I persuaded and I made a case to the people of Kenya that we must begin to enhance our revenue. Because if we are a serious state, we must be able to enhance our taxes. So my drive is to push Kenya. Possibly this year we will be at 16% from 14%. I want in my term, God willing, to leave it at between 20 and 22%. It's going to be difficult. I have a lot of explaining to do. People will complain, but I know finally they will appreciate that the money we go to borrow from the World Bank is savings of other countries. We have
Now, 100 youths from disadvantaged families in Isiolo County have received scholarships to pursue vocational training courses courtesy of Wezesha Vijana Initiative program. Now, the program rolled out through the county government is funded by various development agencies, including the Catholic Relief Services, Safaricom, and the county government. The initiative has also been rolled out in Nairobi and Marsabit counties.
I think this is a very special day for the youth of Isiolo County. I want to express my deepest gratitude to everyone involved, the Caritas, Safaricom, CRS, in making this scholarship program a reality. Your commitment to youth empowerment is truly commendable, and I have no doubt that together we will change lives, transform communities, and build a brighter future for generations to come.
The purpose of the technical skills is to ensure that you sustain yourself, you have a job. Isiolo schools are not banned. It is the attitude. Those technical courses are good. You will never look for a job. You will employ yourself.
Our main focus is on meaningful youth engagement, digital technology, and also data, and at the same time local leadership. So what we are doing here, we are giving opportunity to young vulnerable people to get access to technical vocational educational training and TVET pathway. So with Wezesha Vijana program, the main objective is to empower young people and invest in young people. Challenges that our young people are facing here in Isiolo, Marsabit, especially in the northern Kenya, is one, unemployment. And so with Wezesha Vijana program, we are deliberately investing in young people through technical vocational educational training. And so what we are doing is we are building the human capital. We are building a pool of skilled young people to be able to take advantage of opportunities that are coming within their counties, to get job employment opportunities.
We are very grateful for this program kwa sababu imesaidia watu wengi sana, and we are also happy because it was very transparent. They tried their best to pick the most vulnerable people wenye wanafaa kupata this chance.
Now, those are the, of course, stories that we had for you at this particular moment in time, but we'll be coming to you at 7 p.m. and, of course, on the Insight at 9 p.m. just to give you details of the stories that have made headlines across the country and beyond this particular Wednesday. Until then, do have yourself a wonderful evening, and like always, God bless.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and